We had a reasonable setup here for the test, but it wasn't what I would say, a polished diamond. It was just, we had some areas that definitely needed some attention. So we've come into this this race weekend with quite a few good ideas. Collectively, we've all got together and put our brains together and tried to come up with some ideas that might work out. And we've kind of got a bike that's very different from what we had at the test. And we've got a different shock setting. I've got different fork springs, I've got different top out spring, I've got different rear shock spring, definitely different preload. So it's quite a lot of changes to the bike. And I've matched my time on a day that is, if you gauge from who the fastest rider out there is, we've actually closed the gap a bit. So in that respect, yeah, it was a good session. It has been a good day. But I still feel like we're missing something. I'm having a lot of front end slides, which isn't really building my confidence. The bike's sitting too deep in the stroke through like old hairpin, bottom of Craner curves, up through Schwantz curve. That sort of fast, high loaded area, the bike's sitting too deep. But then when I shut the throttle and go into like a trail brake in apex, so into Coppice, into Redgate, into Redgate. Into the last turn, places like that, it just feels like it's topped out too early, and then I've got no rear contact. So we need to, make some adjustments, trade some preload for a heavier spring, so that hopefully it holds its position a bit more through the middle of the turn and doesn't, extend and top out so quickly when I'm hard on the brakes. So, we've got definitely areas to improve, but it's easy for me to stand here and talk to you and say how the improvements can come. But, when it's about, making the change on the bike and absolutely getting one go at it, it's kind of a little bit like rolling the dice. You've got to see what luck comes up your side as well.
And then you've got to put that in play, and you've got to try and get there and find some free space to do it. But what I did also notice, it looked like quite a few consecutive good laps from you. It wasn't just a one lap, there was a run of laps.
Yeah, that's right. I actually feel a lot better about that scenario than I'm letting on. At the test here, I did a good time, but it was literally out the pits with a new tyre one time, and then I quickly dropped off those lap times because of tyre wear. It was a lot cooler here at the test, so I don't know if that's purely the reason, but definitely had a lot of tyre wear, which was hampering my potential to repeat lap time. So the fact that I've been able to do, like the previous session today, my best lap was on lap 17. So that's a real good sign of our progress.
It's certainly not me, and if I could, I would help you out, that's for sure. But great to see how well you're going. I'll let you get back in because Johnny Bagnall's now staring at me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to upset him.
Well, you've got me here to talk, and now you want to go. I don't get it. Is it you want me to come out and stop my debrief and talk to you, or you want me to go back and...
I could talk to you forever, but I don't want to get Johnny Bagnall in trouble. I don't want him to get in trouble with me.
No, I'm just fooling with you. All right, mate, cool. Catch you later, and hopefully, good times tomorrow. The bike felt good when I was like a second off the pace, but then as soon as I tried to attack and ride like you need to qualify or be in a race, then all the old problems re-emerged, and the bike was like lost rear contact grip and started to react in a way almost the same as what we were trying to get away from. So it was kind of like a bit like deflating, it's showing good progress and then nah, not again. It's kind of like this yo-yo of good and bad. So then we kind of started to creep back forward again with some little fine tuning. We kind of got it back in a better range, and we were moving forward, and then qualifying came and I dropped back to 9th and actually did, like Lee and I both did our best ever lap times of the circuit in qualifying, but yet we lost places, so it's like, again, sort of like that same yo-yo effect. You kind of build in a bit of momentum and then it comes back, then you build momentum and it comes back, and then so that's sort of been the general pattern of the weekend. Sorry everyone, I feel like you've missed out a bit today. With the delay, everything got pushed back and we're running short of time. Lee's obviously come off his bike and I hear he's not too injured, just a jarred a wrist, so I'm sure he'll put a good effort in to get out there for this afternoon. Just in general, we were pleasantly greeted with sunshine and warm track temperatures when we arrived here and got on track yesterday. Everyone's tyres were working well and everyone got about setting up their bike and getting it more a better setting for the warmer conditions, and everything seems to be going pretty well because both Lee and I have both done our best ever lap times around Donington Park. The disappointing part is, although we've done our best lap times, we're still a little bit away from the front where obviously everybody wants us to be, and of course we want to be as well. So we don't stop, we keep working. Obviously Lee was trying really hard then, like we all were, but just found the limit and come off. So that is sort of like the nature of what we're doing. We're trying to find the limit of every corner, every lap, and that's what we have to do in the race as well. I think we really don't have a clear expectation or gauge of where we might be in the race. It's kind of going to be one of those where you just see how it unfolds. We're too early in the season to really see a set pattern from other riders and other bikes and weather conditions, because also on top of all the usual changes, there is a new spec of tyre for the rear. The rear tyre this year is slightly different from what we had last year. So we can't really gauge the racing performance and the consistency of the tyre off last year. It's all new information for this season. So yeah, hopefully Lee can get out on the grid and not suffer too much pain with his wrist, Jard, and put in a good result. And I'll be certainly trying my hardest to move forward in the race and hopefully give you guys something to cheer for. I've just jumped in quickly before I head to the garage to get the final preparation for the race. So I didn't want to leave you completely without the chat show at all. So thank you for coming. Yeah, and I'll catch you all later. Thank you. No, they're having little like secret meetings. Yeah, we haven't been too far away in the lap times so far this weekend. Obviously, there's always room to improve, but I think if I can get a good start and roll with the group at the front, hopefully bring it home in a good position and build on that for tomorrow. Once again, unpredictable. Thanks.
That's it.
I can, yeah.
Josh, what a fantastic race. Your first podium for a few years, your team's first ever podium in British Superbike. That must feel fantastic.
It does feel particularly good. Obviously, I've had a few podiums before, so I know the feeling, but as you mentioned, it's not been for a long time. And yeah, at no point during this weekend did I really think, oh yeah, we're in the hunt for a podium here. You know, I'm just looking always to improve and keep creeping forwards, but yeah, at no point was it like, yeah, we're on for a podium this weekend. So I just felt like we were struggling to get off the turns and a little bit in the middle of the turn, but my braking was good. So I just kept focusing on the areas I could maintain. And towards the end of the race, I think tyres started to play a bit of a game in it. And because I didn't have grip from the start, it didn't feel like a big drop at the end to me. But the brakes stayed the same all the way through. So I kept being able to find a little bit more all the way through the race. So yeah, I caught just the back of Kyle's bike with a lap to go, which was a bit scary. But the rest of the race felt really in control. So it was brilliant. And I'm obviously thrilled for Dow Racing to be on a British Superbike podium. It's great for everyone. Yeah, I think it's fair to say at no point during this weekend was I expecting a podium. We're always working to improve and move forward, but I didn't really get that impression that we were moving forward fast enough to anticipate a podium, especially after qualifying ninth. I felt like that's kind of set my target back a little bit. I was hoping for maybe a top five, but during the race, the bike just felt good, and I was making good positions on the brakes, and the brakes stayed consistent all the way through the race. So the little areas I could find a bit of time stayed the consistent. And then as the tyres started to drop, I felt like we didn't really drop as much as maybe some of the others around. So I just was able to find another couple of places, and then with a couple of laps to go, by surprise again, I was in a position to fight for the podium. And as you mentioned, yeah, had a little. I was sort of like diving in deep into the late apex, and Kyle had kind of gone a bit wider on the way in, and then turned and came back really sharp. And both our lines were going to intersect, and fortunately, yeah, there was nothing more serious than just a little rub, but it certainly got the heart rate going. And yeah, I had a few moments of my own, just some mistakes, and then also, pushing to the limit. You often find the front trying to slide a few times, and yeah, but all in all, it was felt like quite a safe and controlled race from my side, and I just feel really pleased for everyone in the Dow Racing team, all mechanics, and particularly Somai and Clarissa. They've really set their targets high, and I feel really honoured to be able to give them their first podium in the British Superbike Championship.
And how much confidence does this now give you going into tomorrow's two races?
My confidence is based on facts of how the bike's performing and what's happening. Getting a podium today doesn't guarantee anything for tomorrow, but I feel like what we've learned about the bike in today's race will definitely help us to make changes that might even make the bike stronger for tomorrow. We've got to keep moving forward, because I know all these guys around me are going to come back tomorrow fighting hard. So I'll give it my best.
Thank you. Well, Josh. Thank you. Cheers, mate.
This with sarcasm. I'll pre-warn you. I'm just enjoying all the video attention. I don't know if it's always been there, or it's just got like to a new level.
It's because you look so good, Josh.
Yeah, thanks. Now who's being sarcastic? Yeah. I didn't set out in the race going, oh, I'm going to go for a podium, or I'm going to go for this great position. I just thought, look, let's just try and keep progressing. It might only be a position further forward, or a lap time, or even if it's a 10th, whatever we can find that's a progression forwards, that's got to be our goal. That's got to be our target. And as small as that sounds, if every single time we enter the circuit we make forward progress, then before we know it, we'll be somewhere competitive. And we did make some changes to the bike. I don't even know exactly what they were, and I didn't feel like the bike was a massive step different from what I had. The bike felt the same. All the feelings of braking and turning were the same, but I was setting the same lap times in the race as what I did in qualifying. In one lap in qualifying, and I was able to do those laps quite often in the race. So something about the bike was improved. With more time and discussion with the crew, we'll decide exactly what that was and see if we can maybe extort some more performance in that same area. But right now, I don't even know what the change was that really made a difference, because like I said, the bike didn't feel different, just the result felt different. I'm just happy it happened anyway. So it's kind of like, I know this feeling, and I've been here before, but it's been a long time, so it's good. It wasn't until maybe 4 laps to go that I then was like, oh wow, I'm gonna make the end. Like, I could feel that the tire was still holding up, and I was riding with good control of the situation. It wasn't like I was really, reaching my limit in every corner. It was kind of like a controlled limit. So I started to then think, oh, a podium is possible. And then when I saw Glenn and Kyle battling a lot, they were making mistakes because of each other, and that sort of sped my progress up. And then it was just sort of like, just the last 2 laps was kind of like Kyle had broken away a little bit, and I could see that that Glenn's tyre was really making it hard for him to keep pushing forward. So I thought if I can get past Glenn without any problems, then I should be fine, because I knew he was not going to be able to attack back because he was in a vulnerable position. So yeah, I just set about trying to pass Glenn without any problems and just finish the race smooth and fast. Even if we just sat still and went like, the bike's good, we don't need to touch it, we just re-enter the race, still might not get a good result because everyone else is going to come out fighting. So we've also got to do the same. So yeah, I mean, it certainly gives us some more confidence that we're in the right path and we're making the right steps to go forward. But there's just no guarantees. I mean, I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, we're going to be on the podium again, because I just can't say that with any confidence.
You miss me, imagine how much I've missed you.
Only one place now for it.
Well, for us, yeah, absolutely. But unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of guys here looking for revenge. They want that position back that I stole from them yesterday. So I'll have to have the elbows out and fight for my position today. Definitely starting further up the grid will be a helping hand. The shorter race, I don't know how that'll play. It seemed like yesterday there was a bit of tyre strategy, but with a shorter race, I don't think there'll be any strategy. We'll just be full stick from the go.
Sure, Josh,
Found that my bike just isn't really working as well right at the beginning when it's got a full tank of fuel. That extra weight in the fuel tank, it seems to be affecting our setup a little bit. So the early laps I was struggling to maintain the position and I dropped a couple of places. But then as the race went on, I actually started to feel better again. But because it was a shorter race, I didn't see any benefit to my progress. So I again set a new personal best lap time in that race. Another couple of tenths quicker, but everybody else went quicker too. And welcome to the VIP chat show, where me, Josh Brookes, and Lee Jackson will be entertaining you for a few minutes with some information about the weekend and how it's been going. So I'm starting on the second row for this next race this afternoon, and it's the longer race. So I'm hoping that maybe as I said, that longer race might work more in my favour as the other riders start to lose a bit of tyre grip. And for sure, I don't think the front guys will be pushing that lap record pace that they did in the shorter race, because they'll know too that they've got to make a longer distance. So I think the beginning of the next race should be a little bit more calm, and hopefully I can stay with them and then fight better at the end. But yeah, that's my best guess. That's what I'll be trying to do, and hopefully it works out. But I'll pass on over to Lee. He's got plenty to talk about with his weekend. So take it away, Lee.
Cheers, Josh. Yeah, so sorry if I repeat myself on anything that Josh has said, but
I just wanted to take another moment to say thank you for being part of the Dow VIP hospitality, and we look forward to seeing you again at the next one. So thank you very much.
thank you.
Yeah, I think I got a cool breeze, so it should balance out about the same. I felt like I had a better result, or I had a better pace for the longer race. I can't guarantee anything, but yeah, I'm hoping that that same pattern plays out today.
Hope so, Josh. Thanks for talking to us.
So everything's still moving forward. Had a little bit more expectations for this afternoon. The longer race, I was hoping would sort of follow the pattern of the first race of the weekend. But I think everybody kind of sharpened up their act and improved their game. And yeah, it felt like maybe I was more of a it was sacrificed a little bit of my time at the end by the tyre wear. We did improve the lap time again. I went to a 27.1, so again another fastest lap time for me. But over the race distance, I felt like we dropped a bit of performance. So at the end, I was really struggling, even not just to crash and bring it home. So still a strong weekend. Just after having the podium in the opening race, you kind of hope for more. But yeah, we're happy enough.